first to respond to those videos of, Thailand tourism is dead. Yeah, don't believe that hype.
Who is the sort of ideal retiree or expat in Jomtien versus who is the sort of, ideal person to land and settle in a Da Nang?
That's a great question. I think in terms of money, they're not that far apart. It can be as cheap as you want in Thailand. Like you can live very cheaply in Thailand, very affordably in Thailand. Obviously the same in Da Nang. Well, the hardest thing I'm finding right now in this whole situation is I don't know where I want to live more now. And I didn't think I would say that. Like I thought, Thailand is it's my happy place.
Mike,
yeah.
Evan, welcome back to the Cost of Living Abroad pod.
Yeah, I'm a repeat offender.
Yeah, repeat offender. Excited to have you back. Also excited because I think now we're in full-blown rainy season. Actually seeing it is a lot different than talking about it.
It is. I'm a bit shocked because I was expecting it would be like Thailand's rainy season, where you get some sunshine every day.
Yeah.
Right? It just pisses down usually by the afternoon to early evening, and then at nighttime around midnight it's just going to be bucketing. Here, I got here a week ago, it's just been gray like this nonstop.
Last time we talked a lot about, and I'll link that video for anyone who hasn't seen it, we talked a lot about sort of like, your origin story. You're like, why you left 30 years ago from Canada.
Yeah.
Then how you tracked through Japan and eventually to sort of Thailand. It was your first time, I think, maybe not visiting Vietnam, but like in Da Nang, sort of like trying to live here.
First time living, yeah.
Like a really direct comparison. Like I feel like you'll have more of a sense now.
Yeah.
Of what is the difference actually between living in Jomtien, Thailand versus living in Da Nang, Vietnam?
So the first time I came here, because I'm working on the road, my first impression was that this is great for work because there's co-work spaces everywhere. There's coffee shops everywhere. You're never at a loss for a place to plug in your gear. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. And there are so many people working on the road here. It's insane. And that hasn't changed. I noticed it more this time because I realized how much it's not like that in Thailand.
Oh,
right?
Interesting.
So when I went back, I'm like, wow, it's like, especially I live down by Jomtien Beach. There's really no thought given at all to people who are working. If you want that, you got to go up to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, so I mean, I've spent quite a bit of time in Chiang Mai, both in the old town and then also in, I'm always going to say it wrong, Nimanin?
Niman, yeah.
Niman, right?
Yeah,
sort
I'm
of
saying it
newer,
wrong
like,
too.
Expat area,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
regardless, and yeah, like I noticed that whenever I'm in Chiang Mai, I have that thought of like, oh yeah, like I can just get my laptop out, I can rent a place. Like I feel like I could just like start my life tomorrow there.
Yes.
And it would be great right off the airplane. It's one of those places that all the sort of infrastructure to work, to be operational is set up there, and other people have done that hard work for you. So so you feel that Da Nang has that. What are the things that you like about working in Da Nang or that you appreciate here?
First of all, it's because it's such a relatively small area. Obviously this Mian area is very tight, but there are co-work spaces, there are all the way up the beach. There's places you can work at, but it's got more to do with the people. So one thing I've never found after 10 years in Bangkok and living by the beach is that the expat community is one that does meetups in the way they do here. The meetups there tend to be, there'll be sports meetups of the same guys who are almost always drinking buddies, and they're drinking together. It's a very drinking culture. It's not a work culture per se. Whereas here, the meetups it's much more people talking about culture, work, what they're doing. It's a much younger crowd. And I went on one on Saturday because I work late and it just right timing. It was just up the road here. We met at the filling station. Which is like a pub area.
A bar pub,
right? Bar pub. Had a few and then met these great group of people. This French guys, a French Canadian guy, went up to the Funky Donkey, which is not really my style normally, but still, even though it was a party atmosphere, the people in that are basically here to work. It's a very focused group of people.
How do you find the meetup? Who is organizing it? What was the group, the name, all the details?
It's organized by a Vietnamese woman named Julie. She's doing more now than she did when I was here last time. Last time it was a couple days a week. Now she's pretty much every day she does a 7 p.m. dinner meetup somewhere.
Oh, cool.
And then 9 o'clock is the after
the party
math
or
of that.
Go for it. Yeah.
And on, I think, Sundays, they do it at a coffee shop, like a dry coffee shop. It's a great place to meet new people who are living here. Mm-hmm. Some people are just traveling through. I watched your video the other night on not retiring in Da Nang.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really love that one. And one of the things you mentioned was that, one of the things that might be difficult for people is the turnover. Like you invest time getting to know people as friends. And you also made a really good point that some people have postpartum issues with losing friends.
Yeah.
Like when they say goodbye to people.
Like the grief aspect, really,
yeah,
right?
they feel like...
They mourn it.
Yeah, they get really sad, like this person they've become so close to. Like if you're kind of a long-term traveler, you don't even notice it. Like you'll be away from people for years. You go, hey, how you doing? Like it's...
Yes.
You just see them again. And I noticed that came to my mind at this meetup because about 20% of the people were the same as last time. And I was very happy to see them. But then the whole new group,
right?
The positive part of it was there were a few people, I didn't like them, but there were a few people in the last ones who are just like, yeah, not really my type.
Yeah.
They've all left. And the new ones who've come in, like these French guys and this Pakistani one, were phenomenally cool people.
Oh,
right?
that's great.
So there's a nice part of that dynamic area here that you get in Da Nang that you don't get so much in Thailand.
That's interesting. There's a silver lining of transientness, right?
Yes.
That the turnover of the new people, which is, we're at Scallywag, so you just came to at the end of one of my Monday morning meetups, which it is a guys watching sports thing.
Yeah.
But I also do it in the morning and not at night because I don't want it to be a drinking thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because as soon as something becomes a drinking thing, it completely changes the vibe of how you're socializing.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's what I really wanted to avoid in the meetup. I don't mind it being a sports thing or mostly guys thing, because the reality is most of my audience is guys.
Yeah.
And I like sports.
Yeah.
But it had to be a coffee thing, because the talk over coffee is different than the talk over beer.
Yes. When you're sober, you are... Yeah, you're not just telling bar stories now. You're focused on daily life and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And the logistics of living here, how you got set up. You're more helpful, I think, more literally cooperative, right? Like you're cooperating together, and less the classic one-upping, well, let me tell you about the time. Okay, well, let's get into the nuts and bolts. I always tell everyone to do a scouting trip, to come over at least once. So in some sense, we met when you're on your scouting trip.
Yes.
Your daily routine now, where you're staying, where you're getting your morning coffee, what you're eating, how much it's costing you, all those basics.
First of all, you are vindicated. The scouting trip first, that is a very good idea. Basically, this whole beach, it's like 3 main areas. Like if you're from we're on the south part of the beach now to the north.
Yeah.
And you find what your vibe is. You're in the Somjai area, right?
Yeah, I live in Somjai.
Yeah. So it's a much quieter, more relaxed vibe. So right now our Scallywags is right on the south side of Mian area. And I live 2 down in a condo called, it's a serviced apartment, I guess, called Seabreeze. It's $10 million a month for about a 50 square meter place. I don't know what that is in feet. You said that's about $400?
It's about almost exactly $400 US a month, yeah.
Okay, and that includes a cleaning a week. They have laundry downstairs. And I use that as my base, partially because there are coffee shops everywhere. Literally, my favorite pho restaurant is right out the door, across the street. Yeah. So they get a lot of my business now. There's a fantastic coffee shop called, I think it's called Sakae or something, some kind of Japanese
I've been to that one.
Yeah, it's chill, it's cheap. It's like $25,000 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so exactly a $1 cup of coffee. And it's a good cup of coffee,
Good cup of coffee, yeah.
And it's got a little sort of garden green space out front, right?
Yeah. So there's that. And then if you go left, there's the hub, or not the hub, the ACE, that ACE co-working space has a bunch of various things. And this is their coffee shop. And I had an editing job, came in from Japan. I had to blast through. And I just went there. It's like literally 1 minute walk up the road from where I live. Good coffee, 60,000 for coffee. But getting set up there, like when I came here last time, I didn't really know much at all, obviously.
Yeah.
I think I might have told this story before, but I work at a co-work space literally right next door to here called The Hive, which is, to me, it's the best place in town for co-working. And there was a guy there, a Portuguese guy, who was a professional poker player, and he would have all these games up on this. He'd have 6 games going at the same time on the screen. That was his job. That was his freaking job. Thought, how cool is this guy? And I could see what he was doing, and I wanted to talk to the guy. Turns out he was the nicest guy. And I was at the restaurant, and I saw him come out of there. So the next day I said, hey, do you live in that Seabreeze? Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a good place. I've had to move rooms a couple times. I had some noisy neighbors, but it's good.
Well, that's the power of word of mouth, right?
Yes.
Like, and of course, like if people watch my videos and want to come over and meet me at meetup, great. I can give you advice too. But when you get to a meetup, then you have 8 different perspectives, 6 different perspectives, 10 different perspectives.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to want different things. How long have you been in Jomtien?
I moved down there from Bangkok in 23.
Okay, so two and a half years, 3 years.
Yeah.
What's the vibe like there?
In Jomtien, it's different than, say, Pattaya, which is morphed again. It's still that party place, but maybe less so. Jomtien is still very much, there's a lot of people that moved there from Russia, probably because of the conflict, with their families. So you feel a little bit of a family vibe there.
Interesting.
Because the Russians typically come as couples or families, which is kind of a good thing. It's like calming a little bit effect.
Yeah. That's how I feel in Sancha a little bit more.
Yeah, it's nice to have people with families around, you know, that just feels, I'm notoriously single. I can't seem to crack that nut. The vibe is, if you go to a coffee shop, for example, the place I go to right on Jomtien Beach, it's part of the Now Hotel, shares the same space as the Svensson's Coffee or Svensson's Ice Cream place.
Yeah.
It's called Ordinary Coffee, and they got a high bench I can use for doing this. About once every 2 weeks, I see someone else working in there. Right. Otherwise, it's people on dates, or a lot of locals go there. People go there to do a bit of business sometimes. You hear people talking business a bit. But it is not in any way focused on anything other than tourism and perhaps daily life.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's harder to make community there than it is here. Same in Bangkok. I find that Bangkok has got a little bit of what Japan used to have with foreigners. Back in Japan, if you talk to any foreigner, there was a feeling of like, why are you talking to me? They're very protective, like, are you trying to take my job? Or you trying to, they're really, really protective about stuff. And it's like, no, I'm just saying hi. Because in Canada, people say hello to each other, right? And Bangkok wasn't like that before, but I'm feeling a little bit now that there's this protectionist feeling, which I don't feel here. I feel
it's open.
Very open here. I like that a lot.
There's 2 Koreans on my block, but other than that, I'm the only foreigner living on my block. It's houses, it's just residential houses. Both of the Koreans are long-term expat business owners. There's no one sort of in my demographic on my street.
Yeah.
Everyone on my street is curious and excited to have me there.
Wow.
Right? Like, no one is suspicious of me or whatever. They're definitely like, my street's pretty middle class, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't live in the nicest house on the street. There's a couple nice houses on the street. Yeah. Everyone has a new late model car. Yeah. There's Subarus, there's Kias, there's a couple of Vina cars, there's Toyotas.
Nice.
There's a guy, the wealthy guy on the street drives a Beamer.
Yeah.
Lots of my neighbors have more money than me.
Yeah.
It's nice. I'm just a guy who rents the empty house on the block, right? It's like.
Exactly. And like you said, you add some color.
Yeah, that's right. It's curiosity.
Yes. I remember that, like in Thailand, for example, when I was living in Bangkok, so during COVID, I was working still for the bank.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know how long this is going to go on, because it seemed like it was going to go on forever. So I moved out of the center and I moved up and I bought a condo at a place I used to live in Udomsuk, which is like 7 stops outside of the center on the BTS. And there are other foreigners in that condo, but it's very much Thai. It's a very Thai area, but it's pretty much what you just described, where there's no animosity at all towards foreigners. People are curious a little bit. They're also a little bit shy. Thais normally won't walk up to you and talk to you and things. But it doesn't feel like something you mentioned in that same video I was talking about before. You know, if you're a foreigner here, it doesn't matter how much Vietnamese you speak. It doesn't matter if you've got all your kids are bicultural, your wife's Vietnamese. It doesn't matter. You are a foreigner, right?
Well, and those Korean guys too.
Oh, that's interesting.
My Korean neighbor, he has a, I won't say what, he has an import-export business.
Yeah.
Owns the big corner on the house. He's lived here for decades. He's a foreigner.
Yeah.
Period. Forever. Like,
That's,
and his wife,
okay.
of course, his wife's Viet.
Yeah.
It's the same as different but me. But like,
Huh.
he's not. He speaks Vietnamese too, fluently.
Yeah.
Right. But it's just like when I moved there, the neighbors were like, "We have 2 other foreigners on the street, and there's 2 Korean guys, right?" And like that's just that. Those guys are foreigners forever. They're not going to be Vietnamese.
So that's very much like a Japanese vibe. The
Yeah.
Japanese, they absolutely will know when someone's Chinese,
Yeah,
no matter how good their Japanese is. Koreans who are like multi-generational, they blend in, but when push comes to shove, well,
Yeah.
they're Han. They're actually not pure Japanese
Exactly.
or something. That racism boils over a little bit. I don't really feel that so much in Thailand, that you know, they really make that distinction between Western foreigners and not. But yeah, and Thailand's the same. I mean, you're always going to be, Farang, always, no matter what you do.
It's undeniably cheaper to buy property in Thailand than it is to Vietnam. The big surprise a lot of people have is because the daily cost of living is so low here, right? The day-to-day cost of living is incredibly, shockingly cheap in Da Nang.
Yes.
Even compared to Hanoi or Saigon.
Yeah.
But property is really expensive. It's easy to buy. It's easy. My neighbors' houses would sell for as much as a house in some parts of suburban Canada.
Jesus.
They're worth $300,000 or $400,000, right? They sell them
Wow.
for 10 or 12 billion because it's a very desirable place. Thailand, you can get a condo for much more affordable. I know you've told me in the prior interview about your experience of buying a condo in Bangkok and then in Jomtien. What's your day-to-day cost of living in Jomtien?
First, to respond to that, those videos of, you know, Thailand tourism is dead. Yeah, don't believe that hype.
Yeah.
Like, just any video that starts with how, you know, Thailand's, you know, gone off the road, it hasn't. We talked about this in the last interview we had.
Yeah.
That when people say Da Nang is expensive, it's more expensive than it was,
Yeah.
but it's not expensive. And Thailand is like that as well.
The same.
And something you find in Southeast Asia that you don't find so much in, say, Japan. In Japan, if you go to a movie, it's going to be, say, whatever, $20 for the ticket. Anywhere you go, and there's one kind of ticket. Whereas here, depending on the theater you go to, depending on whether you get the VIP one or not, or whatever you're doing, you can go to a movie incredibly cheaply here.
Yes.
And it'll still be a good experience. You're just going without the bling. You can get street food here that's phenomenally delicious, just like in Thailand, that is way cheaper. Having said that, the cost of living is definitely cheaper in Da Nang. I notice that day to day. A coffee here at a expensive place will be, say, in Thai baht, 60 baht. And you're not going to get one for less than 80 to 100 baht in most places on the beach.
Yeah, we're talking about like a Western style cappuccino coffee or something. Or?
Yeah. I normally, if I'm out for a drive and I just want a coffee, I get was it Cafe Din or Cafe Den?
A cafe fin, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a drip coffee.
Yeah, those would be like 25,000. That is.
Or last year.
Yeah, that's impossible. You can get it in Thailand. They have these roadside things where, you know, there's some girl there and she just mixes up a bunch of milk and coffee. But they're kind of using instant coffee for everything, and it tastes like not good.
Not great.
Whereas here, the coffee is proper coffee, right? It's like rocket fuel here. So the cost of living is less here, but I was shocked when you mentioned how expensive it would be to buy a one-bedroom place. Like that was shocking to me. Like $90,000.
It's the absolute, and I've looked everywhere. I know it. The very, very cheapest sort of like new build condo you can find for a small unit, like a 30 square meter, 40 square meter, like a tiny studio on this side of the river. The smallest you're going to find is 90,000 to 100,000.
Wow.
You could probably get an alley house city side.
Yeah.
So an alley house means like when you go down a hem alley and a tall, narrow house, you could probably get a whole house for that price over there.
Wow.
I think. In the same, like 3 to 4 billion, which is like, 90 to 120,000 US. Outside of the city, 20 minutes outside of the city, he wasn't interested in doing an interview, but a retired American I met, he bought an empty plot out there for 38,000 US.
Wow.
And then built a big, nice house for 80,000 US.
Okay. That's pretty smart, actually.
For about 120, he's right halfway between Da Nang and Hoi An.
Oh, great area, actually.
All in. 120,000, big, beautiful house compound. So it's still very affordable.
Yeah, that's smart. You're getting exactly what you want, and obviously he's building something that if he sells that again to an expat, that's going to be have a very good resale value.
Frank, when you're ready, to host the cost of living abroad at your house, I'm ready. Whenever you are. I hope he's watching this. He's a great guy.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of experience I'd love to hear about, because when I'm watching your stuff, I'm still in that mindset of I'd eventually like to start a small business somewhere, and I don't want to do that in Thailand because you can only own 49% of a business, and that is a problem. I don't really feel comfortable doing that.
So he actually, another fascinating part of his story is he set up a consulting business.
Yeah.
And to do that, he had to bring in about 100,000 US dollars, but then he used the consulting business to buy his property and house.
Ah, okay. So that's like
perfectly legal, right?
Yeah, that's like the Thai shell game they use with it.
The structuring of it, perfectly legal. The thing about those business visas here in Vietnam is they just want you to spend the money here.
Yeah.
The idea behind whether it's 40,000 or 100,000, or I think the most expensive one is 150,000. Like this is what the Korean guys do. They just want you to bring that money in, spend that money, direct investment into the economy, right?
And everyone, all the locals who are hired to build things and do things, they're making money. Their, taxes are being paid as the, the boat all ships rise, or whatever that metaphor is.
The tide rises.
Yeah.
And then you do have old school ladies walking around with a food cart in the pouring rain with their nonla on.
See, I kind of love this stuff in Vietnam. Like, again, I'm not speaking for everywhere in Thailand, but when he was here last time, I took my bike, I drove to Hoi An for a night, which was great, staying there because it's quite quiet in the center at night when all the tourists have gone home.
Yes.
And then I drove up to My Son.
Oh yeah, that's a good drive to the ruins.
That was a good drive. And then drove the next day back to Da Nang, up along the river. It was nice.
Triangle. Down the coast, inland.
Golden Triangle.
Back to the city, yeah.
And it's such a different feeling here than Thailand. Yes. Everywhere you stop, as again, talking about cost of living, everywhere you stop to get snacks or get a coffee or get anything, out there is a third of the price of what it is in Da Nang. Oh. It feels almost free sometimes, the cost of living out there. But also, it's a different feeling in general. Just everywhere you look, it feels quaint and lovely. Whereas as you go through Thai communities, it can feel a little more like in the the outskirts. It can feel a little more hectic, a little more run down.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. It's lovely around this part of the...
Now that you've had a bit of time in both places, tell me who you think each place is ideal for, right? Like, who is the sort of ideal retiree or expat in Jomtien versus who is the sort of, ideal person to land and settle in a Da Nang?
That's a great question. I think in terms of money, they're not that far apart. Getting back to what I said earlier, it can be as cheap as you want in Thailand. Like you can live very cheaply in Thailand, very affordably in Thailand. Obviously the same in Da Nang.
Yeah.
In terms of character, I think in Thailand it depends a lot on where you decide to retire to. Like there are people who are married who are living out in like Nakhon nowhere, you know, like living in some, you know, one of the Nakhons, who live a very simple, happy life, right? They've got a house they rent with their wife or their family, super happy with that. If you're the type who wants to retire single, party hard till like you check out of this planet, and then Thailand is your place to be. But also you have to be aware that Thailand, for anything entertainment wise, is getting more expensive very rapidly. Everything from alcohol to everything else that's wrapped up with that. I think that I don't have enough experience with Vietnam to really nail this down, but I kind of feel that if you're serious, you want your community to be something other than just the people who drink in the, okay, I'm just going to straight up say it, the girly bars.
Yeah.
You know, if you want people who are a community beyond that, Da Nang for sure, and probably Ho Chi Minh as well, is a way better place for that. You just get more, people have a different outlook who are here. Everyone I talk to, when I talk to people back there, they're just very different than the people I talk to here.
Yeah.
And that's a reflection of people who have made choices on where they're going to retire.
I interviewed a couple from Miami via Wisconsin, and they'd done this incredible thing where they'd gone to, had a health scare, decided, all right, fuck it, we're not waiting, we're doing a mini retirement right now, even if we aren't fully, whatever, 100% retired. And they'd gone to 100 cities in Asia in the last 6 months or 8 months. Not countries, 100 cities.
I hope they have a YouTube channel. I'd love to see that.
They just really love this place. And one of the things that I found so amazing and cool about them, and I mean, if I had any influence on them, great, because they were also, I met them at my meetup and there are people who watch my channel, is that they were so outside of the stereotype of the classic like Southeast Asia retired guy. And I'm not entirely in that stereotype, but I'm also not entirely out of it. You know, I'm not like tone deaf. Like I am like a middle-aged white guy, and I am married to a local who's younger than me. Not that much younger than me, but still, right? I still fit in some like broad way.
But you're not like a 72-year-old married to like a 19-year-old.
And I'm not going to girly bars. I came over here on a work permit for a real job that was helping to better the economy and the people. But whereas it was so cool to me to see them to be like, oh, you're choosing this because it's about expanding your horizon or something.
Sounds like they're living like when I was 19 and I went across to England and I hitchhiked through Europe and tried to see as much as I can for cultural reasons and whatever. They're just doing that at a later age, which I think is really, that exploration thing. But two of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. I love these guys. They're an American couple. They develop golf courses. That's what they do. He works with Nick Faldo and guys like that. You would love this guy. Like he's an ex-football player. He knows everything about sports there is to know. These people are so switched on. It is insane. And I mean about culture, about everything. And they're not living in Asia for any of the stereotypical reasons you would expect. They've got this beautiful house they've rented, and it's just their oasis. They're living their best life. They travel. They just came back from Italy, but they don't live in Thailand in the way that a lot of people would. You know, they're not out exploring the country and trying to save money or anything like that. They're just, how can I put this? They're not any, they don't fit any category, and they're the happiest people I know.
That's what's cool.
Right? So I think that if you can break out of these, if you're coming to Thailand or Vietnam with just this idea of, and this is getting back to what you said in your video, you have to change to some extent, right? But you can still maintain your basic core of who you are, and just know that your life here, you can up your quality of life a lot just by living in a more affordable place, but you don't have to change who you are.
If I have like a mission on the channel, I think it's that. My mission, and I'm figuring this out as I go, but I think it's this idea that like, I want people back home to know that you can just come over here and make your life better. You can do it in a way that's supportive of the local economy and not like a leech or whatever too, right?
Yeah.
Like the rising tide metaphor you used earlier, right? Like you can come here and be a part of a rising tide and not just whatever that old school sort of like
extraction economy. Yeah, you're not trying to see what you can, like how much you can get by within a country. You go through the idea of it's a bit of a partnership. Like living in Southeast Asia, I make a conscious effort of staying in hotels and places that are local. They might be run by a couple, like a Westerner with a local wife. But to me, that money is going into the economy. And there's this whole push in Thailand. It's been like this for the last 5 or 6 years of the quality tourist, which usually means someone who kind of comes in, dumps some money, and leaves.
Yeah.
But those people typically they're staying in some kind of chain hotel where that money's getting expatriated. They're shopping in places owned by the same people who are expatriating the money. They're buying brand goods. Whereas people who retire here, if you're aware of where you're spending your money, you are absolutely helping local people every day.
100%.
Right?
And Antung, even though it's becoming like Mian Antung is becoming a sort of the Western hotspot, these businesses are very much small businesses owned by local people.
Yes.
All of them, 100%.
Yeah.
So the direct way you're supporting them. And in those property values going up, well, I can tell you, for a lot of my neighbors, that's it. They're everything. Their wealth, their retirement, their money, if they have it, is in the fact that their home equity is worth 100 times what it was whenever they built their house.
When they sell, they're going to be rich.
Yeah, if and when they sell, their houses have made them rich, for sure. Just
which happens in every growing culture, right?
When
you have some
generational
wealth that happens like that. And that's typically when countries start, getting genuinely expensive, higher cost of living. It's not here yet in Southeast Asia, which is, the hardest thing I'm finding right now in this whole situation is I don't know where I want to live more now. And I didn't think I would say that. I thought, no, Thailand is it's my happy place. I rarely go out even for beers, but I like driving by the beach every day. I just enjoy the interactions I have with I go to a local coffee place and the woman who works there. I just love it. But I could easily live here all year and not even, I don't care about the rain.
Yeah,
but I could say the same about Thailand. So I'm very mixed right now. And I'm going to be moving back to Japan for a couple months of the year, right? So I think the hardest decision you're going to have to make if you're going to retire in Southeast Asia is, do you want to live in one place or I think you can spread it around. I
think so.
I bought a place, I have my own place in Thailand. That is my base. I don't rent that out. That is just mine. I've always got a place to go to. And then you can go and you can easily rent a place here for a few $100 a month and enjoy everything this place has to offer. And another good benefit of Southeast Asia is that the rainy seasons
moves around.
Yeah, we were just talking about this before we got on here. I assumed that this would be like Thailand, which is a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. No. It's like Japanese rain. It's like West Coast Canadian weather. It's just a blanket of gray. You can avoid it.
Yeah, you can fly to the south and the north of Vietnam during the rainy season now.
Go live
the
in
islands
Siem
in
Reap
Thailand,
for a month and enjoy the ruins, and you can have a life. The one thing I've noticed coming back here this time is that's so different than the first time. Is I got this place at Seabreeze sight unseen because the poker player guy suggested it. Absolutely love it. I landed here and immediately knew, I don't even use my Google Maps anymore. When I go to Mega Mart, I know where everything is. It feels like home this time in a way that it didn't before. And you can make those places in more than one place.
Yes,
you can be in Da Nang, and you could also have your happy place in Hanoi for certain parts of the month or parts of the year. That's a big reason why I chose to live in Jomtien and not Hua Hin.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been much of a Hua Hin fan anyway, because the beach is it's mostly run by private.
Yeah, private.
You don't have the beach bars and beach coffee shops. A big part of that was I can get to that airport, the Suvarnabhumi airport, in just not much more time than it would take me to go there from within the city. It makes it really easy to just hit the eject button when you want to get out. But I don't have kids.
Where's best? Well, the place that's best for you is best at that time.
I love that.
And that if you want my help moving to Vietnam, I have a Move to Vietnam course to set you up for the first 90 to 180 days. It's linked below. But after that, after you do your scouting trip, you just got to figure it out for yourself, right? You have to get your boots on the ground. You have to experience the different places. If you want to be cheap, they can all be cheap.
Yes.
If you want to be expensive, they can all be expensive. But there really is no, I mean, it's like that couple I met, Miami via Wisconsin, like go to 100 cities if you can.
Yeah.
And one of them or a couple of them will speak to you, right?
Yeah. And in terms of learning about stuff, like you mentioned the course you do, me finding that place just up the road here was because of one person who I trusted their recommendation. Right. It's just like, listen, here's the information you need. And when people on the ground have that information, you can't get that online. I don't have that kind of information like you do. You have way more pragmatic information. Like I've learned so much from your channel.
Appreciate it.
I don't know, you're just very good at this stuff. So well done on that.
No. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
In real life,
All right.
I appreciate it.
Okay.